Hello and welcome to this web video about baseline and target actual modeling available within the IDEA add-on for Sparx Enterprise Architect. In Sparx Enterprise Architect, time-aware modeling is available. However, there are some challenges and some other configurations possible for time-aware modeling based on the IDEA add-on and within the IDEA add-on, since there is a lot of duplication and deduplication functionality available. Maybe this can be an interesting concept of creating time-aware models or creating baseline, plateau and target architectures. Let us take a look at a model which is a little bit more extended than, for example, an Archimate model. Since in data modeling we have a logical data model, an UML class diagram with attributes, operations, associations, maybe text values, all kinds of extra information. So wouldn't it be interesting to see how we can implement time-aware modeling, a baseline and a target from these models. In this approach used here, we take a simple model in our diagram. And when you want to do time-aware modeling, the first step you are going to take is that you say, well, please be aware, I'm going to create a duplicate for the elements I put in this diagram. And this is the starting point. So before you start creating a baseline or a target, you're going to say, well, these are the elements relevant for me. So I create some aspects I don't want. I save my diagram. And now I am able to go to the IDEA add-on. There is a deduplicator available. And I will get a small screen and I will go and clone the diagram. I can check a number of things, keep the original package, baseline the original, create a trace between the original and the duplicate based on the elements available in this diagram, and clone the diagram also. So let's get Sparx to work. It will take some time, so I run the things happening here. You see it will create a new package for me, the logical basic original package. So I let it run and it will also create a new package, and that new package is named the logical basic clone based on the version number, based on the date and the time. Eventually we can extend this model by adding a model yourself, but for now this is fine. Extra interesting thing is what it has done. It has moved the diagram I selected as a starting point and the elements to a specific sub-package. And here I'm saying, well, please be aware there is a clone created for this element. So now I keep all these elements together. And I can take a look. For example, when I took a look, I am now in the original diagram. I can say, please insert the related elements. And you can see here, yes, there is the one. Please be aware that now there is a duplicate association between the element and the clone of this element. Here I will leave it and I will go to my package. With my clone of the model I want to do some new modeling. So here is the model I want to modify. For example, I say, well, Ice Maker, he is expert in strawberry, and I can define it a certain type or something. So I do something, and here I say first name is not enough. I also want to include some aspects like the first name and nickname. So this is what I modify. I can also say, well, please be aware there is an extra association from the employee to the role in activity, and so something like this. I create an association, and maybe now I can delete this association. And I did some small modification. Okay, let's take a look at this diagram. I have here my clone diagram open. I can also go to the logic basic diagram, and let me go to the IDEA add-on and see the diagram deduplicator. And now you will see that there are elements cloned, and here you see that eventually I can now merge these elements, bringing them together, and bring all those changes I created are available here. However, sometimes the situation is a little bit more complex. For example, let's go back to my logical basic clone, and I can say here, well, the middle name I am not interested in, so let's throw this away. Now I go to my logical basic diagram, and now I can do something interesting. I can go to this employee and I can say, okay, show me the deduplicator, and now it will deduplicate based on the element I select. It has loaded my employee in my logical basic. However, here it does a search, so here I can say, well, I want to do compare it with my employee in my logical basic clone of today. I can do some things right away, and it will merge all these elements and make it one model again. However, here is something more interesting. I can say, let's do a manual deduplication. And now I can say, well, load the grids of the employee in the original and the employee logical basic clone. And I can say load grids, and it will do some things. And here you see within the default attributes, nothing has changed. In the attributes, something has changed. Here you see first name and nickname is added, and here you see that the rest is unchanged. Operations are not there, and here you see there is an association modified. So here you see that a new association is created, and these will be modified. Eventually you can see that there are elements in the tag values, and based on this we can add extra tags based on these elements. And now I can start to do a deduplication of these elements, and it will merge all these elements happened here. So go back to the original, and now you see that first name and nickname is included. Here you see some extra work will be done to be sure is that I can modify this element by hand, but you can see now that I was able to modify this model based on the elements for those duplicates. Extra interesting is what I can do now is I go back to my logical basic, I go to my diagram, and now again I say create a new clone, and that is perfectly fine. Again, do it with the same settings, let it run for a while. Yes, we let it run, we clone the diagram, and the logical clone is created here, and here is the original. So let it run for a while, and you will see that I created a new element for a different time in this case. And here you see the basics again, and again you see that these elements are all perfectly processed. For the package, I can look at managing the packages, and I can look at the baselines, and here you see that there is a baseline created. So a simple setup to give an idea about the possibilities working with the duplicator and deduplicator. It is not finished yet. I think there are lots of ideas in extending this model in working with the duplicator and the deduplicator for baseline, plateau and target architectural modeling.